Hi, I'm Derren Brown.
Hello, Andy Nyman.
Really nice to meet you. Okay, so, hello, what's on stage? I am Andy Nyman, and I'm responsible solely. This is Derren Brown.
Your puppet monkey.
And we are here to talk to you about that, which is Infamous, which has just opened
At the Palace Theatre in London. Andy directed it and co-wrote it with me. And hi.
And Derren Star.
I'm actually on the stage.
Okay, so
which is the most important part.
We're going to talk about. So why don't we tell a little bit about how the show's come about? Should we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay.
We wrote together, and Andy directed a series of shows. The last one was Enigma.
Yeah.
So all the shows up to Enigma, and the last one, Svengali, I did with some other people, and then we got back together for this one, Infamous. And obviously we used to write a lot of the TV shows together as well. And
we were
Andy
together for over a decade, didn't we?
It's been a very long time.
11, up and well now this must mean 12 years, 13 years.
There was a long period when you were seeing more of me than you were of your wife and children. I remember that.
Yes.
We have a long history together. And we felt with this show, because it was the 6th one, that we wanted to make it a little bit different.
Yeah.
Have a different tone from the others.
I think that was really important as well, because just to keep it fresh and interesting and try and make it feel like it was moving forward.
Yeah, the previous shows, of which 2 had won Olivier, so I mean it was all very, it was very happy, but it just felt a bit like, didn't want to come back and, it didn't want people just feeling that they would see the same thing that they were expecting and try and make it a bit different. So this one is certainly more personal and more stripped down.
Yes.
And we kind of had this idea of it being more like an acoustic set, if you were seeing a musician.
Yeah, that was one of the things when we started talking. The way it works is, because of Derren's schedule, with the TV and stuff as well, and with my own schedule with all my other stuff, our time is really tight for creating.
And also our schedules as well.
Not just
our schedules.
Yeah. That's the level of pedantry that I have to work with.
Not being pedantic, I'm being pernickety, there's a difference.
So, and you'll see this sort of comedy in the show.
Yeah.
So, but we started writing on January the 11th, I think, and then it opened on March the 11th. Yeah. So, it's, and when I say started writing, that's not like we sit down with a script. I mean, literally it is blank pages of just staring at each other thinking, what would we like to do, or what themes do we want to kind of explore. And
I think it helped this time to have a sense of knowing that thing of even if you just know you want to do something that's a bit different or that will be more personal, you have just a kind of a feeling, which I guess is one of the things that makes the shows hopefully work as theatre rather than just sort of like going to see a magic show or a guy doing tricks. So there is a kind of a feeling, a kind of a kernel that you want to sort of communicate. And
but that's always been a thing for us, hasn't it? Because we both love theatre so much.
Yeah.
And probably the best place to find out about theatre is WhatsOnStage.com. But we do love theatre so much, and we both are avid theatre goers and obsessively go see loads and loads of stuff. And it was always very important, even from the very first show, which is 12 years ago, that it never felt like a magic show, and it never felt like a magician doing tricks. It had to feel like something that had an arc and appealed to everybody, including people who go to the theatre all the time, and not just a sort of comedy audience or a magic audience.
Yeah. Having said that, there's something very nice about bringing people to the theatre who, from what I understand from talking to theatres, when they look at their demographic, that don't normally necessarily go out and see a theatre show. So it's kind of seems to exist somewhere in that world between going and seeing a comic that you enjoy and actually going to see a play, which is I find really quite an exciting area to be in. It's
so how many nights have you toured it now before coming into the West End?
I think it's 100 probably already done like 120 or something, and there's another 8 weeks, whatever that is, at 6 nights a week. Here at the Palace. So it's long, but the joy of it is making it fresh and.
Sorry, just remind me where it is now.
At the Palace Theatre in London.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the Palace Theatre in London. Is there like a box office number or anything?
I think there's probably like, there's like probably. I probably can do that in my head, can't I? Because I can remember 0844 something. Who is that? 8740789.
How are you doing that?
That is a mixture of many, many techniques.
Yeah, well, that is incredible. Just because I've got it written down there, and that is actually the right number.
So you literally would call that 0844 8740789.
Yeah.
And you can come and see the show.
Nice.
For free, in exchange for, I think, cash to the value of £50 or something, or £30 or whatever it is.
But sorry, we started talking about how long you've been touring it for, and then you're touring it again.
We're touring it next year as well, in the cities that we didn't go to this year.
But you've toured now, aside from the telly stuff, 11 years?
Something like that. I think this is the 11th year of touring. Every 2 years it's been a different show. This feels like my favourite, but it always feels a little bit like that when whatever I'm doing. But this does feel very lovely.
Well, I think there's something. I think where this show feels different, where we tried to make it feel different. I think you sort of said it already, really, but it feels definitely like it's invested with you. It feels personal in a way that that maybe the others didn't.
We're sort of purposely not saying anything about what happens in the show, which is another aspect to it. Actually, all the shows have sort of asked the audience to keep it a secret, but
all we can say is if you like Ethel Merman, you will not be disappointed.
It's only that it's more fun if you don't know what happens. That's the only reason. So I do ask the audiences every night to keep it a secret, and largely, amazingly, people have done that. Year after year, people have done that, and it really, I'm very, very grateful. If you are one of those people who've seen it and have kept it a secret, thank you. So yeah, it's a show of surprises, and I think it is an important thing.
And we love being in this theatre because this theatre, of course,
was the very first. It was one of the first theatres I ever went to. I was a big Les Mis fan when I was a student, and I saw that many, many times. And the very first London theatre I did was also at the Palace. So now in a strange, grand circle of life kind of way. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. Came back to the Palace. Yeah. And it's first time I was doing it. Literally the barricades, the Les Mis barricades were up at the sides of the show. It was fantastic.
We did write a special little gag for that show, didn't we?
I think I launched into a couple of...
You in the balcony, listen to this.
Yeah. I think that was off the top of my head. I think we wrote that. I think I can take credit for that one.
12 years in.
We'll talk about it after. It's not on camera. It really gets on my nerves.
Unbelievable. This is why there won't be any more shows with the two of us.
So yeah, back at the Palace. And it is amazing. It is an amazing theatre. The front of it looks amazing. And when you're up at the top, we've got screens in because the balcony is very, very high, and you're kind of over the stage. If you get terrible vertigo, try and come down a level because the balcony is very high. But we put these screens in so that you can kind of. It helps, but it is an astonishing and beautiful place.
Yes, it is. Jewel of the West End. So that's it. We've sort of chatted, haven't we? We said you should
definitely come and see it.
We've given you the phone number, and we've specifically told you to come and see it. And it's on from the 24th of June, which is gone now. You can't see those anymore, those shows, and it's on till. I mean, how would you?
I would say 17th of August.
Wow, how are you doing that?
That was a stooge.
Okay, but do come. Do keep going to WhatsOnStage.com. Thank you
for the show. I hope you enjoy it. I'll say the last word. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, really.
Probably. Thank you.
Bye.
And cut. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. No, embarrassing.
Bye. Seriously, so much.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.